What is going on, Twitch chat and also the Discord stage channel? Welcome to your Strats Weekly for the week of 2 April 2022. As always, I'm your host, Auth. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Hope you guys have been having a good week. Hope you made it through April Fools without getting got too well. Some pretty good April Fools stuff going on yesterday. Vecino already took down. I just realized the banner's already gone. I really liked our April Fools this year.
I missed it. What was it?
Oh, it's still in the announcements channel.
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, it's still over here in the announcements channel.
Nice.
We became a Fortnite clan.
Amazing.
Sponsored by Doritos Dust and Mountain Dew Dew.
Ha.
No, it was good fun. We did not do what a bunch of the other Discord servers were doing though, which was to make it look like you missed a message, or that you have like a pending unread message or mention.
Bro.
Dude, a bunch of Discords
I got
doing
got
that.
by that. I've even seen it before, and I still got by it.
See, I went in and investigated one because it looked weird. I was on my phone, and I looked, and I was like, wait, this doesn't look right. Something's wonky here, because it like the way they did the image, it cropped part of the circle. I was like, what the hell is going on here? And when I went in and looked, I was like, oh, I see, because it's April 1st and we're being sneaky about things. Got it. Yeah, so I got I guess on that one, because they did get me to go in there and poke around and be like, did I miss something? Because it's one of the bot channels that, I was like, maybe there was an announcement that I need to go read about. But yeah, welcome to the Strats Weekly. Apologies, there was no Strats Weekly last week. For those who were here, so here's what happened. My monitor had been dying, my second monitor. It was certified for Windows Vista, according to the sticker. So it had had a good life, my second monitor, but I needed a new one. Now the problem is, new monitor is in long boy mode, and that's awesome in terms of like readability on the screen, but it's a different size. My light, one of my lights there, and the camera were both sitting on top of the monitor, which meant that my chroma key was all screwed up because my lighting situation changed and the camera position changed. And as I was fixing all that, and I gave myself last Saturday a couple hours to sort that out, got it all fixed, got it situated, got some extra lighting going on over here to make sure it's all working well, and then open up OBS and start looking at the other assets and realize, oh God, this is in long boy mode and it's a different screen size than the other monitor. So all of my Discord assets were screwed up on all of my scenes, as was my webcam. And I fixed the webcam partly and then realized, holy shit, I did not set up all my scenes so that all the other ones are reference images. Or no, I'm sorry, they're not duplicates, they're not identical, so when I make a change to one, it doesn't cascade through all my other scenes. I had to go in and manually update all of my scenes, and I came to that realization about 15 minutes before go live last week, and I was like, you know what, there's no time. There's just not time. So that's why we didn't have a weekly last week. Apologies for that. We did have a little bit of an informal hangout up in the tavern, though. It was good times. Lots of adult bevs were had. Cats were had. Fun. But yeah, we're back. Strats Weekly. Woo! Which is good, because this also marks the end of Q1 for Biggest Loser, which we'll talk about later. Very exciting. Some people got spoiled. People who were very attentive to Discord got spoiled, but don't worry about it. We'll talk about it later. Let's jump into it, and by God, I hope all these scenes are right, because I didn't double check them this evening. Bam! Hey, it's working. ESO, let's talk about ESO first. So, for those who don't know, Elder Scrolls Online is a fantasy MMO set in the Elder Scrolls universe. It takes place, I believe, before the events of Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, maybe after the events. Before or after the events. I always forget which it is. It is a buy-to-play MMO, which means there is no subscription fee that you have to continue to pay. Once you have bought the game, you can continue to play it. We play on the NA Mega server because, ESO is one of those games that figured out that you don't have to have a bunch of different server shards meaninglessly. You can just have everybody on one giant server and, just load balance, depending on where everybody is. There is a staggering amount of customization to be had in this game in terms of how you can play. A lot of viable options and a lot of updates coming this year to the balance to make more things viable, as if there's not already enough things. They're trying to make as much as possible viable, which is nice. You love to see gameplay design where rather than nerfing the things that are working well, they go and give some extra strength to the things that aren't working well. There's also multiple content drops coming out this year. The one that just dropped is Ascending Tide. I think there's 3 more coming later this year, and we are going to be digging our teeth into all of it here at Stratsco. One thing that did happen, for those who didn't hear about it last week, who weren't hanging out down in the tavern, Dies a Lot has taken back over as the guild lead for the time being in the ESO guild. We had some of the leadership in ESO have some IRL things going on. They've had to step away for different things, and Dies has graciously volunteered to step up and help run the show again, which is awesome. Dies has been our guild lead before. He is again, and I reckon at some point we may have a different guild lead in there. I know Dies does not like to hold the guild lead position for a long time, but he is one of our faithful, loyal officers who has been willing to step up and help shoulder the burden of leadership that comes with running an in-game guild with events and things like that. So with all of that being said, we are still going strong, over 400 members in-game, and what do we got on the Discord right now? Scroll 620 in the Discord at the moment. Multiple 1, 2, 3. I see 4 events scheduled offhand down here going on. Like I said, Two Boy did have to step down from actual guild lead, but he is still playing, he is still participating, and he is actually still running a couple of these events as well. So he's not gone, he doesn't have quite as much time as he did to help run all of the other meta that is necessary to manage an MMO guild successfully, at least on the scale that we're operating at with over 400 people in the in-game guild. So if you would like to join us playing around in Tamriel, is that what ESO's world is called? I think it is. Tamriel. Head on down to the Skooma Den. You can also check TESO info. We've got the guild rules posted in there in multiple languages, no less, for those who are interested, or who perhaps English is not your first language and it's easier to read it in your native tongue. We've got all that in there. And then just post in Skooma Den that you're looking for a guild invite. Most people in the guild have invite permission, so you don't even have to wait for an officer to pop online to catch you. Just about anybody can actually get that invite taken care of for you. And I think we got the bot fixed. Let's see. No, bot's still being cranky. We're gonna have to take a look at that. The Dwimmer Bot, they did a change to it, and we're gonna have to do a little bit of fiddling. It's to do with how Discord is making bots handle things these days, and some of the settings we need to go in and actually reconfigure so that they will work appropriately now that Discord has made some changes on what bots need to do as far as their commands. So that's a work in progress. Vicino is kind of out of pocket right now, and he is the one that is going to handle getting that sorted out. So we're hoping to get that done this weekend. If not, it'll be first thing next week when it gets done. It's been a busy week for a bunch of people for a bunch of different reasons. Many of them work and IRL related, but we'll circle back to it. We'll get it sorted out. We'll get it working right, because we don't like it when things aren't working correctly. So it's on the to-do list, just in case you're wondering. We are definitely gonna get that sorted out. All right. Yeah, if you're interested in playing with us, like I said, Skooma Den, Ask for an invite. Somebody can get you sorted out. Next game we should talk about real quick is EVE Online. For those who don't know, EVE Online, massive online space MMO, a huge universe, very connected. Everybody's on the same server. I guess it's not really a server if everybody's on the same thing. Everybody plays together, basically. You play as a capsuleer. You are effectively immortal by way of cloning, and you neurologically link up to your ships, whatever ships you choose to fly. You can take place, or you can participate in very large scale activities in this game. The number of players that can get involved in any given fight is kind of crazy. It is full loop PvP, which brings with it all kinds of unique challenges and stressors, which a lot of people are definitely down for. The universe is very interesting. If Star Citizen can get anywhere close to this scope with first-person viewpoint, it's going to be amazing. EVE is already doing it, and it has been doing it for, oh my goodness, since like 03, I think, like nearly 20 years at this point. It's kind of crazy. The EVE people are crazy, and when I say crazy, I mean they're crazy. There's always people playing. We have over 340 people on the Discord right now with the role. We have a lot of channels here if you were to pop in here to play EVE that you would not see, because given the fact that this is a full loop PvP game, assets are valuable. There's very real risk with giving out too much information, so we have a lot of things locked behind Discord permissions, which if you join up to fly with us, you would get access to, obviously. So we are Strats Co. In EVE Online. We are also part of the Pretenders. Name here. Pretenders Alliance, that is us, Helix, and Voidhounds. Strats Co., we live in wormhole space. We actually own a hole. I'm not allowed to talk about it. I get in trouble when I say much about it, but we do own a hole. Though we do a lot besides just wormhole space activities. We participate in high sec, low sec, null sec, PvE, PvP, trade, you name it, we've got people doing it. Especially trade. Vorthos is absolutely insane. He is running the show for Strats Co. in EVE Online. The man's insane. He's in like the fractions of a percent top percentile when those yearly, like, hey, here's how you did last year, like, here's how much money you made, here's how much whatever you did. He is the Mr. Krabs of the Strats Co. EVE Corp for sure.
Lol.
It's true. It's actually pretty insane. Like I said, we do a whole lot of stuff there in New Eden. If you are interested in joining up with us, whether you are a new player who's never played the game before but are interested in getting into a game with this setting and depth, and I emphasize the depth, there is so much information to intake. If you really like getting into deep, involved games, this is one of those games for sure. If you're a new player, you're a returning veteran, somebody who never stopped playing, or you're a corporation that's looking to get involved with some other corporations that do a lot of fun stuff on the regular, we definitely have a couple scroll wheels worth of activities scheduled at various times and days that I'm not allowed to talk about. And then, of course, we also do a lot of theory crafting in the Spaceship Sudoku channel, sorting out what does and doesn't work well. If you're interested in joining up with us, though, EVE Info can get you started. You happen to be a new player, we've got an affiliate link in there. If not, we have information on how to go about authenticating with our services, and then you'll post in internet spaceships, people you want to talk to. Vorthos obviously would be a great pick to talk to. If you cannot catch, or if you do not happen to catch Vorthos, Siri, Wex, Mazix, Vicino in a pinch could also talk with you. Bane would be another good person to talk to you. We've got a handful of people that handle vetting and recruiting for our New Eden efforts. But like I said, post in internet spaceships after you've gone through the EVE Info section. Somebody will get with you, do some sort of interview in order to make sure you're not a spy. We don't like spy crabs. We do a lot of stuff in there, and those guys hit it hard. this channel, more than any other channel, is almost never empty. We have people playing literally around the globe. Speaking on that, we are still looking for some additional players out of the OCE, SEA time zones. We've got some Aussie players. We just would like to shore that up a little bit more with some extra warm bodies. If you happen to be playing from that area, either as an individual or a corporation, by all means, please, please, please reach out to us. We'd love to chat at you about the possibilities within either Stratsco, one of our sister corporations, or the Pretenders Alliance, depending on the situation there. I think that's most of the EVE stuff I need to talk about. I think that covers pretty much all of it. I don't know if they have any events going on. I know they did the Doctor Who event not too long ago. I'm not sure what other things are going on presently, because all I ever see is the Killboard channel just going crazy. I had to mute the daggum channel. It's the only channel on the server I have muted because, good God, is it busy. And I had to stop it. Just wouldn't stop scrolling. So please, bear me. I'll go look when I have time. I don't always have time to read the whole thing. Yes, that's what's going on with EVE Online. Oh my goodness. Braden.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
How dare you? How dare you? You let me get distracted. You take a week off from things. You forget how stuff's operating. For those who don't know, Strats Weekly, sponsored by Bawls. I had this sitting next to me. I hadn't even gotten it open yet. And I was like, man, I'm kind of thirsty for my drinking water when I could drink this sweet nectar of life.
It's on all my graphics, okay? I don't have any balls.
It's on my graphics too. I just forgot.
Seems like an Auth mistake.
It is. Well, it is, but you could have reminded me. Yeah, for those who don't know, Bawls did sponsor the Strats Weekly. Has been sponsoring the Strats Weekly for a couple months now. They're like one of the OG energy drink companies.
Have they sent more?
No, not yet. I got to get with Vicino because we are.
So they're sponsoring it as long as you still have supply.
Yeah, I mean that's the gig. Like they sent us a sponsorship package, and I'm working through it, and hopefully they keep sponsoring us. Otherwise, I don't know, Rockstar or somebody else wants to sponsor us starting in probably May at this rate.
Nice.
I'm content to just keep getting Bawls to sponsor us. So honestly, yeah, one of the OG energy drink companies, delicious, a lot of flavors, way more flavors than they had back in the day, and the cans. Like, honestly, I mean, the nostalgia for the glass bottles is there, but like, fuck, the cans are just convenient. And there's so much more in the cans than there are in the bottles. I think the bottles are only like 10 ounces. Maybe they're 12. But no, these, to quote the Hobbits, this one comes in pints. 16 ounces of deliciousness, caffeine, and all that good stuff. Yeah. Thanks, Bawls. We appreciate you. Please send more. I want more. And last but not least of games we really need to talk about is Lost Ark. For those who don't know, which I don't think is going to be anybody in this stage channel at least, Lost Ark is a free-to-play MMO launched in Korea a couple years ago. It has since expanded to Japan, Russia, and now NAEU as of February this year. It is top-down, isometric, so it plays a bit like a Diablo or an ARPG, but it is a full-fledged MMO. All the MMO systems you would expect to see. A lot of crafting, housing, guild system, better for worse, the way they have it set up. Raids, dungeons, lots and lots of stuff, tons of content to consume, a frightening amount of content to be honest, and that's just what we have access to. That doesn't even account for all the stuff that is yet to come to the Western release that hasn't been localized for us. We are currently playing on two different servers. We have an East Coast group that's playing on Avesta, and then we have the West Coast group that is playing on Voltan. We have been slowly working towards getting everybody merged together into a smaller number of in-game guilds than we started with. For those who weren't here when we launched with 6 in-game guilds on each coast. We have since started identifying which of those guilds We are going to spin down and turn into alt guilds, and we've been merging folks over every week during reset into the merging guilds, which is Strats Co. on the east and the west coast, and then on the east coast it's the Strats Shields, and on the west coast it's Strats Fire. And then of course West Coast also has Strats Water, which is the OCE SEA branch. Those guys have been killing it, looking real good, and we're gonna continue to support that group. There's no sense in trying to merge them into the times or the in-game guilds like Strats Co and Strats Fire, which are predominantly people playing from like North America and time zones. Let them continue to participate with more people in their time zones so we can support those recruiting efforts there. But yeah, we have been slowly spinning things down. I know Strats Heart in the West Coast is the most recent one that is being pilfered by Strats Fire and Strats Co West in order to get as many of those people absorbed as possible. I think Strats Wind is going to be the final in-game guild on the West Coast that merges in. Probably another couple weeks yet to go on that. And then in the East, I think Strats Swords is still going to remain as is for the time being. I've lost track of exactly which guild over there is currently merging. I know we dissolved Lance a couple weeks ago. Well, we started to work Lance into some of their guilds, and I think Xiphos is the next one that's coming down in the East, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% confident in that, like 85%. Yeah, there's a lot going on over there. We have multiple events happening right now. We've got the little GR thing happening, the special GR that you can do once a character, which is very obviously a winter like some sort of winter event, given that we're getting winter tokens in April. So that was obviously a holiday thing previously, where you fight 3 guardians at the same time. We still have the Grand Prix going for another little while. This is the last week of the Grand Prix, isn't it? Anybody know offhand? Paco? Valerian? Anybody?
I think there's one more.
Yeah, I think it ends on the 10th.
On the 10th? Which is... Oh, okay, so it's like a week and a half? Really? On the 10th? Did it start on a weekend? Weird. I
believe it ends on the 14th.
On the 14th? Okay, that makes more sense. That makes more sense to me based on their reset schedule. Okay, so we got 2 more weeks on that, which is good. I wonder if I can get my alt to tier 3 by then. If I can get like one... Well, actually, no, that wouldn't really help me at all, because then I'd be fighting with my main for the mats in that shop, so that's not helpful at all. I was just thinking like, oh, if I can get there and get that one last buy-in, but it's like, but then I just want those mats for my main, don't I? Since I'm not 1370 yet, so yeah. Gotta think that over. Gotta think that logic through again. But yeah, whole lot of stuff going on over there, and it's nice now. We are at the point on both coasts where a combination of slowing recruitment, because a lot of people have found their guild homes, combined with burnout, where we've got, players at this point, we're well over a month into release. We're approaching 2 months into release at this point. We're really starting to see some folks burn out or get into kind of a maintenance-y mode where they're not playing as much. But we are still growing the max guild capacity on all of our in-game guilds. So I would put it to you, if you are currently playing on either coast, if you have alts, it is at the discretion of the individual team or in-game guild leaders at this point whether or not to accept alts into some of the guilds, because as we're merging folks together, as we're having some attrition, and as we're continuing to add additional guild slots, we might as well put those slots to use for something, other than just have like a bunch of guilds that are half full. So if you happen to have any alts that you would like to merge in, I know for my team on West Strats Wind, we are definitely letting people put alts into the guild at this point, because we know that we're last on the slate to merge, but also we've got like I think 10 empty spots still at this point. So bringing a few of the alts in just to get some extra activity to continue advancing the research for that guild that will eventually end up supporting the alts. Vecino says he's going to be playing a bunch of PvP tonight. That's right, we got the PvP started. The league started last week, didn't it, Driz? Right.
Yeah, this week. This
is
is
it
the
this
first
week?
full week of it. Yeah.
Maybe this was last week. Everybody was just like all itchy and wanted to go practice and participate in it. This is the week we actually have rewards. How spicy are those rewards? Like, am I gonna have to like carve out some time to PvP?
No, it's been a full week. Yeah, it has. I just realized. Yeah, it has been a full week.
Aside from the
Damn.
cosmetics from high level stuff, the only thing worth buying economically are the leap stones.
Oh, really? So the other honing mats are kind of.
I mean, I'd save up the currency is worthwhile because you can do it on a weekly basis. But based on the other shops that are available, I wouldn't go out of your way.
At least
That's
not right
pretty
now.
expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's expensivo.
Yeah.
At the moment,
Yeah.
what I'm focusing on is just getting the tier up. And that gets you more coins of courage overall per week. And then as you have a higher tier, you get more per week, so you can build up a stockpile. Then when you have a class that you really want to push, then you can spend it on those mats.
Gotcha. I mean, really, it's really just all about the cosmetics. So let's be honest with ourselves. It's all about looking good.
Oh, I'm excited to see what the mounts are for the rankings.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because there are going to be like rank-specific titles and mounts handed out, aren't there?
I know the mounts. I haven't seen titles. Let me see.
I know for some of the upper ranks,
yeah.
there are definitely going to be titles. Like I remember reading
Yeah, so
about
for
that.
Grandmaster and for Master, there are titles.
Okay, those are pretty high. I'm not probably
Yeah,
going to be there. That's not going to be
top
me.
200 on the server,
Mm-mm,
the region.
that ain't
But
me.
if you can get to plat, just getting to platinum gets you a mount.
Okay, that's achievable, I think.
It's doable. I'm already almost to gold, so you know.
Okay, so it'll take me like twice as long, but I can probably do it. I'll slog it out. That's good to know. Yeah, I know there's been do we know how long that's actually going to run for? That is the one thing I don't actually know is how long this
6 months.
Oh, 6 months? Okay. I was worried it was going to be like quarterly, so you'd feel a bit more of a pinch to get it done. 6 months is far more reasonable. Is it going to be? I guess the other question I would have about that: do we know if the rewards will be based on where you stand at the end of the 6 months, or the highest rank you achieved during those 6 months?
So where you stand at the end. So the nice thing about it, if you get up to diamond, you're diamond. There's no way to go down. Because it's on your score. Unless you lose a bunch and you lose the score.
Gotcha.
The master and grandmaster is rankings.
Okay.
But bronze to diamond is purely on the score that you hit.
Gotcha. So if you make it to diamond on the score system, then even if you were to completely stop playing, you don't have some sort of attrition to that score. Like your score is going to just sit there, and you've got those points, you've got that ranking.
Correct.
Nice.
The
Vecino's
only attrition
is at those upper ranks.
top ranks, and then your PvP tier. Your PvP tier has attrition per week. But if you do a couple matches a week, you should be fine.
Okay, so it's not going to be a difficult thing to maintain once you've achieved it. It'll be the grind to get to it. Vecino brings up a very valid point over in the Twitch chat, and it's my complaint as well that there is no sort of team bracket. Like there's so much 3v3, so many different 3v3 arenas. Like it's all just designed around 3v3, but there's no way to queue with other people for ranked. And I mean, like, I will say that it's like pros and cons when you can queue with other people. You get into that situation where like folks try to carry other people. I mean, you Driz and I ran into that a few times when we were duoing in WoW back in whatever expansion that was. I already can't remember what it was called. But I mean, we run into people where it was like, oh, y'all's aggregate rank is the rating is the same as ours, but one of you is way higher rating than the other, and you're here just to like carry your buddy because you've got, I don't know, the gear or the build to do so. But I agree. I'd love to see some sort of like ability to queue with multiple people and have that matter from a ranked standpoint. I mean, it took League of Legends several seasons before they had a system like that in place where you could like duo queue and still progress in rank. So I'm not surprised that it doesn't exist. I'm hopeful that it will at some point exist, because I know KR players are definitely interested in having that. So it would be nice. It'd be nice if it happened. I'm not holding my breath that it's going to happen in the near term, because they haven't even done something like that in KR yet. So it's not going to just magically appear across the board for us either.
That's what Serb and I talked about before the game launched. That like they should have a 3v3 pre-made
just separate
selection, but pre-mates only go against pre-mates.
Yeah, that's all you have to do. Put it on a different ranking, and if you're pre-made, you fight against pre-mates. I mean, they had that like in League of Legends, for example, which is one of the only games where I did a whole lot of ranked competition back in the day. You had ranked solo queue, and then you had like ranked 5s, and even ranked 3s back then. They still had the 3v3 mode back then, but you would queue in a ranked 5, and you would only fight ranked 5s. And then eventually they found a way to do solo queue and actually allow you to duo. 2 people could queue up together and still go into the solo quote unquote ranked thing, and they stopped calling it solo queue. They started calling it like ranked. It would be nice to see something like that. Not having the ability to like duo queue into a 3v3, but just give us the ability to queue as a 3-pack and fight other 3-packs. I think if they did that, there would be it would be really interesting, because then you could actually start thinking about comp, because you can't really think about comp too much when you queue up and you hit 2 other random people, because you don't know what subclasses you're gonna get matched up with. But if you had the choice to bring 3 specific subclasses in, then you can start thinking about, okay, what's complementary? What can we do that would work really well? Braden is freaking out that we haven't talked about Biggest Loser. We got time to talk about Biggest Loser. Braden, settle down.
And also, like, for like the super serious people, there's a bunch of shit happening now. The Archives League, there's Boom TV has a bunch of events. EGL has their own tournaments happening. There's like smaller tournaments hosted by people in the community.
Yeah, and
so like there's actual esports happening.
Well, yeah, and like this game had esports for sure, and it's nice to see. It just at the same time, I always like when there is some sort of in-game system to reward that. And Driz brings up in over in the Twitch chat, he said that part of their justification is they don't want the regular PvP version to die off. Like the way it is, when there's only one queue basically that you can go into in terms of gaining rank, then PvP remains busy. I would counter offer and say, why not both? Just you could even do ranked 3s as a different reward tier entirely. You give people something else to chase. You could chase ranks and rewards as a 3-man queue versus a solo queue. Like I'd love to see it. Plus, just the idea of like 3 of us getting together and going in there and smashing, or more accurately, probably getting smashed. It's just more fun with friends. Just more fun with friends. Let's be honest. Like I'm sure I know for a fact people queue for non-ranked and they queue as a group. So there's clearly an audience for it. I don't think that it would die just because they didn't, or just because they support a ranked 3v3. I don't think that would kill the solo queue at all. It might be slightly less populated, but I don't even think the 3v3 would be the most popular. I still think the solo queue would probably be more popular. That's how it is in most other games that have solo and ranked queues. The solo queuing is usually more popular than the team queuing. I don't know. But yeah, we play a lot of Lost Ark. A whole bunch of it. Like I said, Valten and Avesta, depending on which of the coasts you want to play on. If you're interested, make sure you grab the role from Rules and Roll. Head on down. In Lost Ark info, you can get your coast-specific role, and you'll also be able to see the Looking for Guild channel. You can post in there, and one of the team leads from either coast will grab you up, get you the details to join us in-game to do all kinds of fun stuff. Oh, one last note for everybody who's in here and everybody who listens to this after the fact. The individual guild channels, which were originally very necessary for the purposes of making it easier to coordinate initially, getting everybody into the in-game guilds, making sure that the folks who were supposed to get in the guilds got in the guilds. They have, for the most part, lived out their usefulness. Some of the channels are very active, some of them are very not active. So some of the just general gameplay conversation is getting very compartmentalized in those channels. So what's going to be happening probably tomorrow sometime, we are going to be shutting down those individual guild channels, and we're going to spin up some general channels for each coast to further bolster that, hey, like we're all like playing on the same coast together. And we're going to enable the ability to specifically @ping the individual guilds. Right now you couldn't do an @Stratsco West or an @Stratsco Shields. Those are currently disabled, but we are going to enable those so that team leads can still ping their people when they need to for various things. But we just want to try and get all of these conversations that are happening, kind of get them more homogenized, and continue to bolster that sense of community and camaraderie that we're trying to go for as we continue to merge everybody together. Eventually, we're all going to be in the same 1 to 2 in-game guilds anyhow on each coast. So we're going to basically just rip that band-aid sooner than later and get people used to talking with one another more in the general chats. Because what we notice is happening is there's a lot of chatter happens in the Raiders channel, and then sometimes some coast-specific chatter will happen in the LFG channel, but because we have slow mode on that so that it can actually be used as an LFG channel, that makes it difficult to have any sort of compartmentalized, like coast-specific conversation. So we're going to support that by bringing some general chat channels to each of the coasts. And what I'm going to do is we're not going to delete those individual guild channels. We're going to leave them up for a little while in case people still have stuff in their links and whatnot that they posted that they want to make sure they've collected. And then we'll give you a heads up before we actually archive them for good. And Bradham is freaking out about Biggest Loser. We still got at least 10 minutes, but I suppose since it is the end of the quarter, end of Q1, beginning of Q2, we should probably talk about Stratsco Biggest Loser.
I can finally have more than the leftover 2 minutes.
You always get 10 to 15 minutes.
Lies.
Check the clock. Check the clock. Check the clock.
All right. Before we dive into individuals, I'll start by talking about Stratsco as a whole. So one this week, we lost 10.5 pounds collectively. And we, through the entire quarter, lost 264.5 pounds. So that's a
lot.
full hefty adult male between us. So pretty big amount, which means 284.50 is going to be going to charity because, spoilers, I did not finish in the top 5. I after last week, it was the previous week was an okay week for me, and then I knew that I wasn't going to, even if I hit the target I was going for, I was not making it into the top 5. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to have a huge cheat week and then start off the next quarter being heavier. So I have more weight to lose the next quarter, so I stand a chance to win. We'll dive a little more into the next quarter in a little bit, but I want to state I'm going to make a Bradham guarantee because those have gone so well in the past. Bradham guarantee that for quarter 2, I will be finishing in the top 3. And if I do not finish in the top 3, I will personally donate an additional $100 to charity.
I got $20 right here. It says you don't make it top 3 at the end of Q2.
100, okay, it's up to 120.
Okay.
But
Damn, bro.
but on to the end of quarter results. We'll start with the loser of the week. Familiar face in loser of the week. Once again, Taco. Losing,
Damn, what
I forget exactly how much, 1.68? The graphic's not up for me.
Oh, it's 1.62. It's up. Should be up.
1.62%. Yeah, I'm on a slight delay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, there it is. 1.62%. So not only was Taco the loser of the week this week, but I think he won probably by far.
Reuse?
Yeah, I wasn't going to make you a new banner. Fuck you.
Come on, man.
I'm not making you a new banner every time you change your profile picture.
Monkey, come on. Yeah, okay.
So if you do it again next quarter, Taco, I will update that banner once a quarter for you.
That's a Bradham guarantee.
That's a Bradham guarantee. I suspect this is going to be a new meme. So, with that being said, we have the standings. To absolutely nobody's surprise, winning Q1 of Biggest Loser is the one, the only, Auth. As Auth has said before, really impressive results by Auth. He did not win a single loser of the week, but slow, steady progress the entire month. It seemed like every week he was losing like 0.8%, which just added up over time. In second place, Taco. There you go. You got your updated profile picture right there. And in third place, with a slight asterisk, Zero Logic, because he did not actually submit his weight this week. But I put him in there anyways, assuming that he didn't gain like 3 pounds in the past week. So Zero Logic in third. I hope you all enjoy this beautiful graphic that was leaked in the Biggest Loser channel. I got a little disoriented and posted some things in the wrong channels. But very good results overall. Auth, if you want to throw up the end of quarter chart.
Got you.
Awesome. So end of quarter chart, lots of success. Most people, I guess I'm now at the bottom. Some people are no longer on here just because they've either left Strats Co or really only submitted once. So they're me near the bottom, but everyone had a pretty successful quarter. We had a couple people that were in the red, but with that being said, both of them were only like a pound or 2 over where they started, which personally I would still consider a win, because as I've said a bunch before, we all joined because we were probably trending in the wrong direction. So if over the period of a quarter you only gained a pound, I think that's still a pretty successful quarter, and it is a much better starting spot for Q2 than you probably could have had. Yes, Dragon. Dragon was so close. And I'm going to give a shout out to Dragon because we all need to keep in mind Dragon was the last one to join. So Dragon only joined like 4 or 5 weeks ago. So he only had 4 or 5 weeks to do what he did, whereas the rest of us had like 12 weeks. So massive success by Dragon. We'll see if he can end up in the top 3 next quarter. And not everyone submitted, but because it was the final week, no one is in the timeout box. Just a big party on the chart.
You'll love to see it.
That like 3 to 6 range is competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, like it is. There's definitely a lot of competition to just be even in that like top 7 spots. It looks like, what is that? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, like the top 7. There's not even 0.5 pounds between like places 3 through 7. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
for sure. And when I did my calculations for where I would end up if I lost an aggressive but healthy amount was I think 5.82%. So that still would have placed me outside the top 5, even if I did execute on what I thought I could do. So very, very impressive results by all.
Healthy results. You love to see it. Like, and honestly, like in terms of like the poundage, like I know that like the percent loss that a lot of people were striving for, that's like the metric we that's an easy metric to look at and assess. But you know, some people may have lost less poundage but put on more muscle, and muscle weighs way more than fat. So you just because you don't see like this massive number swing or percentage swing doesn't mean that you're not significantly healthier than you were 12 weeks ago if you've been out this like the rest of us for 3 months already.
Sure. And then I know Auth was pretty confident about this win. So the only thing left for Q1 is for Auth to decide the charity that the money will be going to.
Well, it's already been decided. For Q1, we are going to be donating to Norton's Children's Hospital, which is part of the Children's Miracle Network Hospitals chain and charity. They are in Louisville, Kentucky. They are a very special hospital to one of the Oest of G's here at Strats Co., Tommy 2118. So this one's for you, Tommy. We're going to donate to that children's hospital. It's not my place to tell his story. If you've been around for a while, if you were here back when we were doing a lot of Extra Life stuff several years ago, you have probably heard it before. But that specific hospital location, it is the only pediatric hospital of its type in the southern part of Indiana and Kentucky area. It does a lot of really good things, and Children's Miracle Network is basically a charity that seeks to make sure that kids have the help they need when they have rather significant issues arise. So yeah,
awesome.
give it to the kids.
Give it to the kids. Yeah.
Give it to the kids. And Brandon, I'll shoot you the details on that.
Sorry?
I said I'll shoot you the details on that after we're done here.
And that is it for Q1. We are on to Q2, where we hopefully don't have to endure as much of Auth smugness.
Probably not. So full disclosure, for those wondering about that little number right there, I have made a number of lifestyle changes, but one of the things that I have not done is significantly increased my activity. So I have lost a lot of fat and weight, but I've not been building a lot of muscle. So that is phase 2 of my however many phases it takes to get back in shape plan. That will be kicking off this week. I suspect I am not going to see near as many pounds lost in the coming weeks as I start to like rebuild some muscle mass.
if you without giving away your weight, with what you did this quarter and where you ended up, I don't think it would even be healthy to lose that much weight again.
That'd be fine, to be honest. I mean, it wouldn't be advisable, I don't think, but I don't think I could lose it in one quarter. Like at the rate I have been losing, I am back to a weight that I haven't seen since 2013. It's been a hot minute since I was this weight. My goal weight would be a weight that I haven't seen since 2007, 2008. That's my overall year-end goal weight, and I've still got a ways to go before I hit that. But like I said, I've been work from home all year, and then I play a lot of computer games. So me and this chair are very good friends. I have definitely not been super active. I did things like watch the calories going into my body, think more about like what I'm snacking on, and then intermittent fasting to limit the time in which I'm allowed to consume anything other than water. So as I start improving further upon my lifestyle with some exercise regime that's gonna regiment. There's a bunch of R words that are very similar, and I'm always confused as to which one is the right one. But as I seek to further improve my health, I have no doubt that I'm going to have some weird weight fluctuations in the coming weeks as I start building a bit of muscle mass, in addition to continuing to be healthier about what I eat and such. So I don't think I'm going to have like massive continued weight loss like I had this quarter.
I don't think it will be realistic for you to take next quarter. With that being said, I think you're in a great position to still finish highly over the course of the year.
Oh, that's the plan. I mean, look, my goal took Q1, awesome. 2, 3, and 4, y'all gonna have them. Fight over them. I don't care. I was first winner.
First winner.
And I do intend to take the year if I can. So, come get some.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what's going on with Ye Olde Biggest Loser. And that's what's going on, I think, for the most part, here in Stratsco. And we're already past, but we started a little bit late, so that's okay. Man, thanks to everybody who came out tonight. Thanks to everybody who listens to this after the fact, watches it wherever you do. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Take it easy, y'all.
Peace.